5. Hey, everybody, it's me, Mark Wiggins. Welcome to the podcast, Off the Bench. I am your host, Mark Wiggins. And before we get started, I want to announce, make sure you all are up to date on the things that are going on in the world of Off the Bench. It is now a movement, y'all. We're moving some different things. We are doing some different target ideas with what we're doing off the bench. The biggest thing being the magazine. If you've not subscribed to the Off the Bench magazine, please do so. Go to offthebenchmagazine.com, register there, $37 for a whole year subscription. That's 14 issues, not 12, but 14, because there's 2 bonus issues of great content from coaches, authors, writers, psychologists. We've got some inspiration in the magazine, as well as some living topics, some home building, remodeling. We are covering great issues in this magazine and great topics in this magazine. And each month we want to bring to you the best of the best. So if you're looking for the magazines, offthebenchmagazine.com. If you're looking for a place to put your content, we're looking for articles and contributors, advertisers, of course, to help support the magazine to get the message out there. Hit us up at success@offthebenchradio.com. Success@offthebenchradio.com, and we'll reach out to you and let you know what it takes to become in the magazine. One of the things to be talking about as well is doing the coaching. I've been doing a lot of speaker coaching lately and helping people to get their message to align with what's going on inside of them, to align to what they want to go do. And it's amazing the stories that we're putting together to help launch these careers, right? We're using the core speaker training method where we take your content, we organize it, we rehearse it, we research it, and then we execute it, thereby having a repeatable base speech that you can use for any platform, anywhere, any microphone at any time, especially if you are a small business owner or a direct marketer or network marketer, I don't know what the term is, the network marketers right now, and you're telling your story, trying to recruit people. Well, sometimes you're not doing a great job of telling me your why. Not the story and the content of what it does, but your why or why you're doing it. And that's kind of what we're doing in our new training, in our training program. The newest of training programs is about to roll out, y'all. It's going to be ridiculous. It is probably one of the most challenging things I've ever done as a speaker, and that is to actually develop a whole presentation off one word. Right, one word. And it's painful. Trust me. As somebody who likes to use words and talk a lot, it's painful. And the reason it's painful is because you've got to really hone in on what you're trying to deliver in your message. It's a great, great technique, but that's coming out shortly. Also hit us up on that one as well. Let's move into the topic for today. So the topic for today is, listen, everybody's been talking about Clubhouse. Got to be on Clubhouse. Mark, you got to get on Clubhouse. Why aren't you on Clubhouse? I'm like, I don't know, because I'm not on Apple. I'm a Droid user. I am a Droid user and never adapted to the Apple. But right currently, you have to be on Apple to get onto Clubhouse. Mark, you'll be great. You got great content. I think you'll be awesome out there. Now, that's all wonderful. It's always great when someone else thinks you're going to be good, but it doesn't really matter unless you believe you're going to be good. So I took the steps. So let's go investigate. I went out and got a phone, got a little plan, jumped on a Clubhouse, and was immediately stopped in my tracks. I was stopped in my tracks like, oh, okay. All righty. How can we get these people on here, and what are we going to talk about? Now, me, the speaker man, what am I going to talk about? See, that's that thing right there. That's that thing we go through. We get all excited about it, and then we're confronted with that thing, that moment of breakthrough, and we go, yes, woo. See, I don't like to keep it real. People are like, Mark, you're so confident, whatever. You need to be at my house. You need to be in my private times, and the conversations that I have before I go do something are incredible. It's like, we're going to go do this. Are you sure? All these doubts, these moments, these whispers. I talk about it in my books. Success doesn't need a cosigner. Permission to succeed. These whispers, everybody has them. Everybody deals with them differently. And so I have to walk through this process of walking through, oh yeah, I'm like really, really hot. I can get in there, I can dominate. Then I go, okay, what does it take to really do that? All right, we're going to need a plan. All right, we're going to have to work this out. It's not as easy as it looks. It's going to be a little difficult. But it's like a podcast live. It's like being in a workout, in a breakout room at a conference. Live action, talking back and forth, facilitation work, right? I do all those things, but yet and still, when I looked at this platform and who's out there, I'm like, how do I fit in? Well, how will I fit in? So I was like, I don't know. So anyway, I got into this particular room, and it dealt with people trying to, it's called introverted something or another. I can't remember the full name, but it's a really interesting group. And it's a smaller group. So people are in there, they're able to talk. Hey, what are your challenges for the day? What are you going through for the day? And I like to, go in and kind of play the back a little bit because I am a little bit of an introvert on trying to get comfortable to see what's going on before I jump in full with both feet. So I'm listening, and I start calling, hey, Mark, what about you, huh? I can't find the button because it's an Apple phone. Where is the doggone button? I know what it is on my Droid phone. I cannot find the button. I think I jumped out of the room. I got back into the room. Okay, Mark, what are you working on today? And I had to, hey, everybody, it's me, Mark. I'm a speaker. Hey, Mark. Okay. So I got through all that. And then, the next time I got onto the group, there was another discussion about your challenges and breakthroughs or something like that. And as one guy drops this thought of about a comment, and immediately paint the visual of a comet coming back into the atmosphere, and how the comet is like ripping through the stratosphere, the atmosphere, and just through fear. And he worked that doggone thing. I was like, bruh, go ahead, bro. You killed that. Absolutely destroyed that analogy. I love it, love it, love it. And I got on and said, I'm about to take it and work with it. But when he was talking about that, a whole nother visual jumped into my mind to really explain kind of where I've been feeling right now. And maybe some of you are in this space right now at the beginning of this new year with all that's been going on. Do we even need to get into all of the shenanigans, because my mama listens to the show, of what's been happening around us, right? And then the whole draw of when is it going to change? It's more of the same, y'all. It's been a year. It don't take so many weeks to make a habit, right? Now we got habits, and now we got to retrain ourselves. I don't know about you, but I've never not worked every single work week in my life to now only have worked only half a year, physically worked in a space for half a year. I'm kind of getting used to it though, but it's not going to last much longer, right? We had to go back to the adjustment. And so as a creative and as an introverted extrovert, I need to be in different places. I need to be out amongst the people. I need energy to be drawn from different things, from nature, whatever. Being in my house or being in my home office for all this time has sort of put up a barrier. And the barrier is difficult because you don't know really how to get through it. You just know you got to keep pressing, which you got to keep grinding until you got to keep pushing, until you got to keep focusing, until you get to where you want to go. There is no progress until you get moving. There is no removal of fear until you address it. Until is my word of the year, y'all. That's my word, until. So I started looking at my situation while this conversation was going on in the clubhouse. I'm like, that explains why I'm struggling sometimes. I struggled a little bit, if you remember back in March, with what to say, because I was up against the barrier. I was up against something new. I was up against some unknown stuff. I'm like, what I was doing before, is it strong enough to keep me moving forward? Is it going to touch lives and move people and move me at the same time? Is it good enough? I don't know. Usually the answer is it's never good enough, but it needs to be better, because it's always about getting better. Everybody say better, right? Better. So we're not going to stand still. We're going to keep moving. So I began to listen to the analogy of the breakthrough, because her sister was talking about how she was struggling with grad school and how it was difficult for her to get her work done, and she felt like she was making no progress. I'm almost done. And that's when he dropped his analogy of the breakthrough with the comment. Let me make this a little bit clear for you from my perspective. Let me tell my story, my analogy of what a breakthrough actually could feel like. Many moons ago, I met a specific set of pilots who worked for one of the intelligence agencies, who flew a particular spy plane. It was called the A-12. Many people don't know the A-12. It is the predecessor to the SR-71. And many people know what the SR-71 is, but it's a spy plane that was used to fly over during the Cold War to take photos at a very high altitude, and that was part of the gathering of data and intelligence. They would go back and analyze it and understand where to go. Well, this particular plane was handcrafted back in the 60s, like 65, 66, somewhere in there, and it was hand-built with abacuses and slide rules by hand, this new polymer graphite, unheard of, banging jet engines, all built to go faster than the speed of sound, like a Mach 1 at 90,000 feet, which is actually subspace. So you got this plane that's being flown by a person to go get pictures undetected. So I met these pilots, and I began. And let me side note: they're American, real American heroes. Some died in service. Some never made it back. Some they, the plane has blown up. They don't know where it is. This has been decades, right? But some did. These gentlemen are heroes, and I got to have the chance to converse with one of the pilots. My boy Frank, I call him Dutch 20. That was his handle, was Dutch 20. So I'm sitting with Frank at this particular dinner. I'm like, hey, Frank, what's going on? Hey, Mark, how you doing? I said, I got a question for you, Frank. Got a couple of questions. Like, go. I said, how in the world did you ever learn to fly a plane that can go faster than the speed of sound that flies at 90,000 feet? And he said, simple. I said, okay, go. He said, because it's a plane. I'm sorry, what? It's a plane. He said, Mark, let me tell you something. As a pilot, I learned to fly everything from a crop duster all the way up to the jets to this particular plane. No one had ever flown this plane before. So flying the plane is flying the plane. It's flying the plane. The only adjustments are you need to learn what kind of plane you're flying. And it goes, and to the second point, Mark, we just did not jump into the plane and go Mach 1. It didn't jump in, go, bam, boom, Mach 1. That's not how this worked. We would get in the plane, we'd fly it, we'd test it, take a little further. We'd fly it, test it, push a little harder. Test it, push a little harder. So eventually we got to the point where we could go Mach 1 or whatever, and we now understood what the plane could actually do. He said, that's how I learned how to fly the plane. I said, makes great sense, Frank. I said, but what was it like when you broke the speed of sound? Like, what was it like? He said, well, when you're up there and you're flying the plane and you're about to hit the barrier, the plane is shaking. It's hitting reverb. It's hitting resistance. It's rumbling. It's like you may think this thing's going to pull apart. But the plane's been so well built. It's been constructed for this. It's been built for this. It's been made to go. The engines have been properly labeled, laid out, and directed to draw in the air to cool off. It's hyper. All of that technical stuff you would engineer, you would aeronautical engineer, you would absolutely love, and it's doing all those things. But Mark, don't forget, the plane has been built for this. To go Mach 1 and higher and 90,000 feet. Every plane can't do it. So when he finally popped the sound barrier, the plane smoothed out, right? I was like, Frank, that's incredible. I said, but again, how did you know that you were about to break through? He said, the resistance got so heavy. You kind of go like, at some point we're going to pierce this veil. I think they actually call it like a veil of sound, that they pierce it and just opens up, and there is the pop, a real pop. And so taking that analogy and that whole thing about this particular plane, which I've actually seen, sat in and touched, I'm like, this is an amazing piece of engineering. The question remains, are you built for this? Are you built for the journey that you're on? Are you built to now break through your sound barrier, your barriers, to get to the other side? We all know that breaking through is usually just a matter of who's going to work until. Will you stay with it? Will you be persistent until your breakthrough, or are you going to fall back? It's just a matter, are you going to break through? We said when it gets tough, when you get down, when you don't feel like quitting, when you feel like walking away, that is the exact moment you need to double down on your efforts. That's the exact moment that you should not walk away, but you should actually seek more help and support and push through. It's not easy. It's not easy to tell yourself, I'm going to go do it, when your other self is like, no, we not. And we're going to have a vote, and there's a tie. So now it's a 1-to-1 tie. Someone has to break the tie, and you have to break the tie. I often talk about winning the battle of you versus you. Not good versus evil, but the battle of you versus you. And most of that time is really a negotiation between your ego and the id and the superego. Are we going to be uncomfortable with what we need to go do to be successful? Or are we going to stay where we are and play it safe? When will you break through? When are you going to find some ways to break through? It's a challenge. Because again, I said I was dealing with this myself. I'm like, I'm launching this magazine. I got coaching working over here. Things are moving in my direction. All of a sudden, I lost interest. I'm like, okay, all right, I got to get another month of people in here, and I don't feel like hearing no no's this month, and I got content to do. I'm developing systems. A lot of things happen at the same time, but what I failed to recognize is how much progress we were actually making. My idea of success versus what people were perceiving is totally different, and I talk about that too. Success is personal. What you deem to be success is what you deem to be success. I can look at you and go, oh my God, you're killing it. We're looking at the same wall. And you look at the wall and go, man, I don't know if I can get through there. Now, mind you, just knocked down 7 walls to get to this particular wall, but you feel like you can't do it. I'm like, look at you go, look at you go. It's personal. It doesn't matter what everyone else is feeling about your success. It only matters about what you feel your success is. And if your success is not continually to perpetuate you, then I dare say you may need to evaluate if you truly are being successful. Got to take a look at the history. Sometimes you have to go back and get motivated. Sometimes you have to go back and say, you know what, I've been here before, and now I'm going to move forward. Frank said, Dutch 20 said, I flew everything that had a prop and some wheels and some wings. He had to go back to whatever plane, basic fundamental he had to fly this new high-tech plane. But at the bottom line, it was still a plane. Your successes, no matter how small they were in the back, how small they were in history, it were still successes. So you have to go back and remind yourself what that looks like and continue to press forward. This is where we are. You're going to have to keep pressing and doing it because you, ladies and gentlemen, have been built for this. You've been built for it. It won't get done unless you do it. It just won't. Your dream is your dream. It's going to sit where it sits, but it won't get done until you do what you need to do. So hopefully this message will resonate with people out there to reassess how you're built. Maybe you need to go get an upgrade. Maybe you need to be retrofitted. Maybe you need to do some reconstruction. Or maybe you need to do a whole doggone tear down and a renovation and build out something new. Maybe you just need to wipe this whole doggone thing and blow it straight up, dig deeper, dig wider, more support, and throw up something brand new. It's okay if that's what you need to do. But rest assured, I believe some of you just need a little renovation on the inside. Some internal work, some mental work, some mental breaks, some mental health, some self-care. These are the things that we suck at as entrepreneurs, business people, and drivers. We suck at those, and those who do great with it continue to find their way. We have to find, I don't want to say balance anymore. Talked about balance, and people are like, oh yeah, I want to be balanced, But let's look at balance. Balance means comfort. Balance means everything is equal. Balance means there's no push pull anywhere, and we probably may end up comfortable, which probably will delay our success and our progress in our journey because we're comfortable. Remember, we left a place of comfort in the first place when we started on this journey, or on a journey to whatever you're trying to get to. So why would you want to return back to a place of comfort because you're on your journey? Bama, pass me a pillow and a blanket. I don't want to be comfortable. Negative. So balance is not what we seek. What we seek is equity. I need to seek some equity involving making sure that my body can manage and keep going forward. So I take a little time off, get a little rest, and keep it moving. I take a little time off and focus on my goals to keep it moving. I go to the spa, get my nails done, get my hair done, get my things taken care of. I got that new. I went and bought some shoes. I went and bought some new shoes the other day. I got stylist, right? Because the speaking man got to change up his look a little bit. I got a stylist. I'm in the shoe store, texting and taking pictures with my stylist who's in Portland, Oregon, on what kind of shoes I need to buy. And by the way, I'm talking to a shoeaholic, so this conversation is not going well. The prices is running through the roof. Get all 3 pair. Get them. I can see. No, girl, no. The budget won't allow for 3 pair because I got big feet. But they won't allow for 3 pair. I'm gonna get 1 good pair. I bought the doggone shoes. I like the doggone shoes. I think they're gonna look great with some jeans and a nice blazer. And all I could go is, man, I need to get back to work. I need to. I said, man, if you don't sit down somewhere and enjoy this moment that you've worked so hard for, because I've forgotten one of the major principles, you got to reward yourself at some point to stay motivated. We walk away from the things that we need to do to be equitable to ourselves. Let's not talk about balance anymore. Let's talk about equity. What's fair and reasonable for the effort that we're doing. You pay people for their service. You pay them what they're worth. You need to pay yourself what you're worth, and that may mean time off. That may mean a nice dinner, a cigar, some whiskey. That may be a trip to the winery. It could be sleeping an extra 10 minutes. I don't know. Work it out. Get to an equitable situation as you deal with yourself to help keep you motivated. And what I found while I was analyzing how I was built and being built up, I recognized that my equity stake, it was horrible, because I felt like I got to keep driving and keep driving and keep driving and keep driving, which brought me to the moment that I feel like I'm about to maybe walk away and do something different. Let's try another project because this ain't working. But when I started putting more equity into the other things, I recognized, bruh, we right there at it. We got to double down and push through. Why? Because I am built for this. My thoughts. What are you built for? What is it that you're going to now move forward to? I would love to hear about it. Hit me up on Instagram at OTB Live. Let me know what you're feeling with. Follow me on Facebook, Speakerman87. Drop in. Let me know what you're dealing with. Let me help you. We got a lot of stuff coming down the road to help entrepreneurs and speakers and trainers keep moving forward. We are going to stay on top of this until. I am Mark Wiggins, and let me leave you with this as always. If you can reach your dreams with a step ladder, then they're probably too low. I'm out.